Searching for the next thing, the next car. We all know what it's like. We always keep an eye out, whether it be in between tasks, on internet sites, Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, you know it. We're always looking, but somehow it never is perfect enough. Sometimes we go out for a drive, go out for an adventure, hope to find something, you never know, in the back of a yard, on the side of a street, always keeping an eye out left and right in case we find that perfect car. But somehow it's never good enough, it's never rust-free enough. So we keep searching forever, but somehow we never get lucky.
You don't have to push the car forward.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
To get the wheel out.
Well, I got lucky. So here we have it, cars loaded on the trailer. Was a surprisingly easy load. We were expecting the tires to be completely flat and us having a really hard time rolling on this grass surface, but actually there was some air in the tires. The car has supposedly been sitting in that spot for a few years. Last time it was registered was 2014, so about 10 years ago, and hasn't been running since a long time. But yeah, this is quite a special find. The discretion of the original owner, I didn't want to put her on film. It's always awkward when you're doing these interactions with a camera. But yeah, we just shook hands, gave her the money, reasonable price, and I mean, how do you put a value on something like this, an original find? But she was the original owner since 1965. You have to imagine that her father bought her the car. This is unbelievable. What a find. I can't wait to take a closer look at this car. Right, we gotta wrap this up. We're gonna go home. That's very good. Cool. Yeah, straighten the whole rig up. Beautiful. More. If you can, I don't know when you fully come around. Perfect. That is absolutely perfect. Alright, there it is, the new project car. It's actually hard to say new, it's very old, it's from 1965, but I am incredibly excited about this project. I feel like I've been searching for this for a very long time. Actually, after completing the M3 project, I said I'm never going to do this again. Here we are a few years later, and I think this is going to be another one of those full-time long projects. However, this time I think it should go a little bit quicker because my journey to get to work on this car is from there to there, so 20 seconds. I've just been coming down into the garage and just staring at this thing, leaving it as is with all the cobwebs, all the parts in the trunk, everything just there, untouched as is. It's a pretty special condition to me before we start taking it apart and doing things to it. I just want to take a moment to look at it. The way it's sitting right now, I think it's never going to be sitting like this again. It's looking a little bit sad, but also to me somehow very joyful because it's so honest. Like, yeah, it's been resprayed, but the body is in super good condition. There's not much rust, and it's just waiting to get relived somehow again. We got the car, we picked it up, as you could tell, we got it out of the field, we bought it from the original owner, which is an incredible story to me. She is such a sweet lady, and it was just really so fun pulling it out of there. Big thank you to Jordan, my friend, who came with his truck and his trailer and helped me get this car out of there. Couldn't have done it alone. Trailered it up here, backed it up the driveway, incredible trailer skills by them, and here we are now. Pulled the car out on this beautiful day. Let's get a detailed look at what we have. A lot of parts. The original owner She gave me a couple of boxes with parts. This is super cool. Center console. These are rare on 65 Mustangs. This is worth quite a bit. We have like a mirror, we have rear lights, we have the handles, we have blinker switches. Somewhere here is ignition, original glass and frames, which is super, super cool. Sun visors, or at least what's left of them. But yeah, let's look around the car. Not sure how excited Nela is about this, but front and rear glass is missing. Original set of keys. Look at that. I haven't, honestly, I haven't touched any of this. We're gonna do this together. But what I can see, original glass, tail lights, front lights, I love that. Front grille there, also some mice poop. By the way, when I brought the car in, there was a dead mice there, so I'm sure we brought that from the desert, had a little unwanted trip. You can see the bumpers in there. Some more parts. Back then when everything was metal and not plastic. I mean, look at that. What I love is that all of this is solid. Okay, let's start with the exterior. So yes, the car originally is white. I have some original pictures from the car, but it definitely seems like it was resprayed at some point poorly, which is why the paint is peeling. Certain areas like here, you can tell that it's been resprayed. But that's not so tragic, we're gonna do that anyways. But the body is in extremely straight condition. Hardly any dents, everything is straight, doesn't appear to be filler. That is awesome. Surely a couple of small spots, but that will be fixed when we completely blast the car and bring it down to metal. Or that's why I want to do that, to address those points. The underbody is super, super solid. The frame, or at least part of the frame, I mean, it's a unibody car. All very good, all very solid. I would have bought this car even if it wouldn't have had any of the parts or the engine in it, just because of the body alone and that it's from the original owner. That brings us to the next point. Let's have a look at the engine. Okay, here we have the engine. Also looks very original, including cobwebs. A little bit of deterioration here, probably from acidity of a battery. That's not the end of the world. The rest of the stuff is looking very good. Some stuff has been removed, like the heater core there. But yeah, I mean, this all looks original. Even an original cooler, which will be replaced with an aluminium cooler. The washer bags back then were rubber, and this rubber is pretty hard. But yeah, this is just crazy. I love seeing this, and I can't wait to take this out. So yeah, that's the condition of that. We're gonna try to get that running. Interior was red. Not the biggest fan, but what's pretty cool is that the dashboard actually metal, which is super, super cool. Now, it started to been taken apart, but that's not bad. It kind of took some work for me. This is the wiring loom, which is crazy. These are the only wires going to the back of the car. A lot of dirt and stuff here, but yeah, this is dirt. The floor pan is solid. It is a automatic, but we're gonna definitely be converting that to manual, no doubt about it. We don't know how many miles it has. Tachometer is not here. Maybe it's somewhere in here. I don't know. I see that there's an original radio there and another one here. Unbelievable. This is just invaluable to me. The fact that all of this stuff is original. He says as he throws it back in the box. Another window there, which is cool. Wheel. Roof liners hanging down. Yeah, that's the status quo of this car. My dog is trying to escape. Nela, come here. Remember when we talked about getting another SUV and I told you it's not going to stay just with that. The reason I got this is so I can get another project car. Well, here we are a couple weeks later. Okay, so that is the status quo of this car. I would say how we're going to build it and what the final goal is going to be, we're going to talk about in another video, but I have a small idea. I'm thinking something like this. So since moving to the US, I've been obsessing over TransAm cars, 289 Mustangs. This is, I think, kind of completing the American dream. Let's wait for Craig. When we're gonna rebuild the engine, I'm gonna do it together with Craig, and the in-depth videos of rebuilding that engine are gonna be over on his channel. I wanna focus on the rest of the stuff on this channel, so do make sure to check it out. That was equally disgusting as it was rewarding to get most of the junk out of here, at least loose stuff. The amount of mice crap in here was incredible. Most of the stuff in here is just molded away, rotten away, eaten by mice. So most of it is just going in the trash. But yeah, let's have a look at status quo. So, talked about the exterior previously, the body. I've been noticing a few more stuff like Bondo here. Here you can actually see down to the metal the layers of paint. So it was white, then it was primered, and then it was white again. Got all of the parts out of here, cleaned everything up, got everything out of here. I mean, as you could see, it was stacked up to here with stuff. It's nice to see it like this. Pretty good. I'm pretty happy with the body, no holes. There's a pretty bad floor repair that was done here. Not gonna lie, the more that I'm getting into this car, the less my head is thinking, okay, let's try to preserve it and bring it back to original as much as possible, because so much of it has been partially restored in a bad way. Some of the stuff is just rotten away and molded away. So much of it would have to be done new anyways, and I don't think my goal here is going to be to preserve it and bring it back to original car. I think the route here definitely is race car. Okay, so it is now the second or third day, I'm not even sure, of getting this Mustang in the garage and figuring out our next project. And what we're going to do today is get the car running. And for that, we have Craig. So meet Craig. Craig is incredibly talented engine builder, fabricator, whatnot, build car. He's also built this here and many other things, so do check him out. Super excited to have him on board for this project to build this car. So welcome, Craig.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
We want to get it running just to see what we have, what we can make of the car. The full detailed how to get it running is going to be on his channel. That's going to be more like the ASMR type thing. And we're also going to talk engine a little bit and just figure out what we even want to do with this car, with the engine, what's possible at all.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very fun. No limits here. So.
Yeah. So he's pushing me to go full race car, full crazy.
Who doesn't like a full race car with a license plate, right?
Let's have a quick look. Yeah. So we have, as I've already mentioned, we have a 289 super basic 2-barrel V8 engine.
But a very good starting place.
Why is it a good starting place?
So being these are already V8 cars, you don't have the 206 cylinder or the 160 or the 144 or whatever else, or the small ones that came with the Falcons. This essentially for the time would have been the bigger power plant to start off with, unless you had like a T-Bird with an FE. The nice thing about these is the geometry inside these engines. You change up the compression ratios, and essentially these are big air pumps, so if we change up the geometry a little bit to flow the air a little better, what goes in comes out more efficiently, makes more power. So we're going to change up a couple things on this, and these things, because of the good short stroke geometry, make a ton of power up at the top high RPM, which is what we like. And they also make an incredible angelic sound. Yes. I will cue a little video in here. We're gonna dive into the specifics of this and pretty much go from intake to oil pan and make sure that everything's perfect and the geometry fits exactly what we're trying to achieve. Yeah, so exactly. So roughly the goal will be RPM wise something in the 7,000s. I think closer to up, if you wanted to get it up into 8s, it's definitely doable. Again, like I said, the geometry is really what matters, but if we have the correct hardware and pieces, you can spin the thing up into the 8,500 pretty easily. Yeah. These things have amazing bottom end geometry, and the blocks, as long as you're not making an incredible amount of torque and horsepower up into the 500-600 range, which 289s, it's a really difficult thing to do anyways. We can just spin these things up, and as long as it's balanced well and the camshaft corrects for it, we can make this thing pretty much, we can put it in wherever we want in the power pan. So yeah. And get that correct angelic sound that we're looking for. Exactly. What's the plan here, Craig? I think you give me a good 2 hours and some good old motivation. I think we might have this thing fired up. The interior and the exterior looks like it was taken apart for paint at some time, but our drivetrain looks relatively what we would call unmolested. It hasn't been touched, it hasn't been messed with. So what I see here, I think realistically, and one day we should be able to get this thing to fire up, unless there was an unforbidden issue that we weren't told about when you bought the car. So that's what we're here to find out, and I do think we'll really be able to get it running, see what we're working with, and go from there. Figure it out and let's get going. Sweet. Sounds good.
We've been spending a few hours here doing stuff. If you want to look at that in detail, head over to Craig's video. He teaches you how to do that stuff. But we should be ready to start it any minute now. However, what we have found out is that the engine is 60 over.
Yeah, we stuck the borescope in it, and from what I can tell, a lot of aftermarket pistons have a big stamp on top of them for what the bore is. And I saw a big 60 in many of the pistons. So, and that lines up. I mean, the thing seemed like it had a long life, original owner, multiple driving times. Yeah. And it seemed like it had been gone through a couple times, but yeah, that's 60 is a lot. So
yeah, so we're guessing that the engine has been rebuilt not too long ago, because we also took the valve covers off and they look pretty good, or pretty fresh.
Yeah, it's clean for sure.
So suggesting that it's been rebuilt, which is a good sign. But given the 60 overbore, that probably means that I'm gonna have to sell or get rid of this engine because it won't be fit for high power, high RPMs. But we'll get to that in a later stage. I'm still excited to get this thing running now, so let's give it a shot.
Let's see how it goes.
Yo.
Oh, it idled there for a second.
It did.
Come on, man.
I got scared by the flame. I'm sorry.
You can't be scared of a little flame here.
Look at that!
No way.
No way! A smooth little kitten idle.
Look at that. That's crazy, dude. Wow, that's awesome.
Look at that.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Little YouTube inception going on here. Water coming through? So as you just saw, we got the car running, or when I say we, it's actually much more Craig, this guy here, which is my new engine tool. No, in all seriousness, we had to do quite a few things, a little bit more than expected to this engine, but if you want to see it all in detail, please do. I think it'll be highly interesting. Check out his video. The links will be wherever they need to be.
Let's see how I made my starter.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of ghetto stuff going on here.
But it works.
Proud of is we got it running and idling under its own power, where we could tap the throttle a little bit and it threw out a bunch of dirt that was lying under the car. But this is cool. I mean, again, I pulled the car out of the field like 10 minutes ago in the video. You wouldn't think it's running, and here it is running.
I think the biggest impressive part of it is the fact of how torn apart the car is.
Yes.
So that it is supposed to be in paint, I guess. There's no interior, there's no underside, there's no wiring where it's supposed to be, the key doesn't work. None of these parts that would initially, you have a function
where you'd start,
they're not working. So we just basically took what was there, put power to the things that need it, and then adjusted everything as needed. But overall, the fact that it worked as well as it did, quite impressive.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Honestly, thank you very much. I think this is a great success.
Yeah.
However, a small little defeat, but it also makes the decision easy, is we realized by putting a borescope in that the pistons are 60 over.
Yeah, which is in the small block world, you essentially have a great day is standard and going to 20 over, 30 over, 40. 30 and 40 is where a lot of these motors live. When you get into 60, it's pretty much on its last
like
leg
the last
before needing to sleeve it. And the issue is our cylinder wall thickness is too thin, and we'll run a little hotter. So if we're going to put any sort of power at this motor, it's going to be running hot and eventually not be feasible for us to use.
We want to put power in this motor. And we're probably going to put something else in it, which you potentially already have waiting.
It's going to be good.
Yeah, so we'll...
Saucy.
Yeah, it's going to be saucy and it's going to produce that angelic sound. So we'll cover that in the next video. That's the end of it for this first chapter. I hope you're as excited as we are for this project. I'm super stoked to have Craig on the build.
Yeah.
This guy here who's practicing some racing, Franklin, is most likely going to do a rad cage for this, and it's going to be similar or even better than the M3, so this is going to be full race car. I'm stoked. See you guys in the next episode. Thank you, Craig.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Franklin. Emotional support human.
From my dog.
Yeah, exactly. All right, see you guys next time.